Hello everyone. In the last video, we have seen how we can containerize our React app. Today, in this video, we will see how we can containerize our Vue.js application using Podman. By the end of this video, you will be able to know how you can containerize a Vue.js application. In this video, we will create a Vue app using White, write a Dockerfile, build the image using Podman, run the container, and serve our White.js application within the container. So let's get started. First, let me open my Visual Studio Code. And I'll enlarge it. And I'll open my repository. Go to Git. Now let me maximize this. I will open my terminal. I'll be using White command to create my Vue.js application. So let me install my Vue.js application using the npm command. So I will type npm create White at latest and hit enter. So I'll give the name as Vue Docker. Then here I'll be selecting Vue. Then it is asking what is the type of variant I'm supposed to use. I'll be using TypeScript. And I'll click on yes. Now let us wait until it installs the dependencies and start our server. Yes, now the installation is done and our server is running at port 5173. So let me click on that server. So here you can see our White.js application is running in our port. So the UI looks similar, but here we are using White.js instead of React. So if I click on Vue Docker, here I'll go to source. Here entry point will be app.vue. If it is in our React.js, it will be app.js or app.tsm. So that is the difference between our Vue and React. So let's start containerizing our Vue.js application. Before that, I'll just close my development server, and inside my Vue Docker, I'll create a file called as Dockerfile. So Dockerfile is nothing but a file which contains the directives or instructions to establish a runtime environment within my container. So I'll just hit enter. After creating the file, let's define our environment inside our Docker file. So first we need to import a base image from node of version 20. I'm taking Alpine. And then I'll set the work directory as /app. Then I'll copy the package star.json. Similar how we have done for our React application, package star.json into our app directory. Once we copy this file, then we'll run a command that is npm install. So based on the dependencies that are defined in my package .json, the node modules will be installed inside my container. Then I'll copy the source code from my destination inside the container. Then I will run npm run build, which will build the application. Then I will run npm install g serve. So this is a library that is used to serve a static files within our container. So once that installation is done, I'll expose the port using command expose, and I'll define it as 3000. And then I will mention the executable command, that is cmd inside bracket. We'll be using serve -s, the same command which we did in our React application dist minus L. And after this, we are supposed to mention the port. So port is 3000. Now we have defined a Docker file. Now we'll create another file called as .docker ignore, which we'll be using to ignore some files when we copy some content inside our container. So we'll be ignoring the node modules. Then the dist file, .get, git ignore, Dockerfile, and the readme file. Now, once I have done with all this, I'll start building my image. So to do that, I will first move into my Vue app, and here I'll run npm run build to see if everything's are in place. So everything is in place, and now I'll run Podman build. I will use -3 to tag my application and name it as Vue app, and I'll specify what is the path of the Docker file. The Docker file is present in my current directory, so I'll keep it as dot, which states that the file is present in this working directory. I'll just hit enter and we'll wait for our image to build. I'll just enhance it. Now you can see that our image is getting built. So now it is installing the node modules. Yes, so our image is built successfully and it is tagged as Vue app latest. Now, using the image which we have built, I'll be using the image to run our container. Now, to run that, I'll be using Podman run, and I'll be using -p to specify the port. I mentioned as 3000 to 3000, meaning from our web port 3000, our container will be accepting the request from container port 3000. And here I'll mention my image name and I'll hit enter, and let's see whether our container will spin up. Here you can see that our container is spin up and it is showing accepting connections at localhost 3000. So let's move into our browser and check if this is accessible. Now I'll just refresh this localhost 5173. Now here you are getting can't reach this page because we are not running a development server. Now instead of 5173, if I connect it as 3000, here you go. Here you can see a white app running inside a container. So if you see the logs here, you can see the request that is being raised. Now, let us see the same inside our Podman desktop. I will search Podman, and then here I can see Sweet Heisenberg. If I click on that, so you can see all the logs of the requests that we have raised through our browser. So inside this container, our application is working. Now, let's have a pro tip. If you're using Vue router, you may need to configure Nginx to handle route fallback. Otherwise, refreshing your pages might break your app. In the next video, we'll move beyond these JS frameworks. We will see how we can containerize a Flask app inside our Podman. So till then, stay tuned for our channel. If you found this helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.